Hello students, thank you for continuing learning. We have learned so many things already about Python. Now, the following module, we're exploring what are variables. You might have had variables when you study math in school. Don't get scared. We're not going to go through a lot of theory and it's not really difficult to understand. In programming, a variable is a container in which data value can be stored within the computer's memory. The stored value can later be referenced using the variable's name. For example, you can see that we have in this picture two boxes, one with the name eggs and another box with the name bacon. In the first box with the name eggs, there is a value of 15. The number 15 is stored or inside the box. The same thing happens with bacon. You can see that the box with the label bacon has a value of 10, and the number 10 is stored inside the box. This is pretty much what's happening in our computer. For data to be stored in a variable, we need to declare the variable. We first declare the variable. That means we assign it a value. So later on, instead of having to rewrite values over and over and again or change our programming, all we need to do is to recall the variable with the assignment operator. I know that you might think that the equal sign in this case means equal or equality, but in Python it means assignment. Please remember that. The assignment operator in this case doesn't mean equality. For example, we wouldn't say a equals 9, but we will say a is assigned the value 9. We're also going to learn how to add comments with pound. In Python, the pound symbol adds comments to your text. Comments are important while you're doing your coding to make sure that you and others understand what the code is about or what the code is doing. Imagine if you did coding that is several pages long and then you don't work anymore on the project. 3 months later, your boss tells you to come back to the code that you were doing 3 months prior and you didn't put any comments. You'll probably go crazy even though it's your own code, just because you didn't put any comments, telling yourself or others what was done. Comments are avoided by Python when using your program, so when you run your program, Python will ignore anything that goes after the pound sign on that line. Comments in Python start with a hash character or pound and extend to the end of the physical line. A comment may appear at the start of a line or following white space or code, but not within a string literal. That means you cannot put that symbol in between 2 or 3 phrases or words, because if not, Python will confuse it with a string literal. A hash character within a string literal is just a hash character. The Python interpreter ignores comments. Don't worry, I know that we have learned 2 new things, but we're going to try this in the video. In the following practice, we're going to use variables in a Python problem and also comments. This is a real problem. For example, you have $100. You can invest this money with a 10% return each year. After 1 year, you get about $110 return because you multiply 100 times 1.1. The second year, you get $121 because you're multiplying 1.1 times 1.1 times 100. Code the following problem and calculate how much money you will end up after 8 years. Make sure that you save your file as savingproblem.py and then opening the interpreter to make sure that you calculated everything right. I'll see you in the next video, in which we're going to try to do this and another problem dealing with the BMI or body mass index.